Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of SmugMug Live with me, your host, Alastair Jolly. Thank you so much for joining me. Wherever you are in the world today, you are very welcome here on what is episode 98, coming to you on Tuesday, the 22nd of June, 2001. Creeping up on that magic 100th episode, which will hopefully be here in just a couple of weeks. Wherever you are in the world, thank you so much for joining us. This show, as always, is brought to you by SmugMug and Flickr. If you're looking to have an incredible photo website, store all your images online with an incredibly robust cloud storage solution, and have a really cool e-commerce solution for selling your images to your clients, then you're in the right place at smugmug.com. Or if you're looking to be part of a wonderful photo community with all your peers and people who love this and have the passion for photography like yourself, then check out everything we have to offer at flickr.com. Sandy, you get a prize. You're in the chat straight away today. Thank you for joining me from Michigan. Sandy's showing you how to do it. Give yourself a shout out in the chat window. Let me know what part of the world you're joining from. It's always nice to see who's with me today. And if you have a question for me, then post it in the window. Good to see so many of you joining me live already today. I know we're an hour earlier than we typically live stream, but got some commitments today that mean I have to stream a little bit earlier and may not be with you quite as long as I usually am. So hopefully we'll be done in the next 30-40 minutes. But that all depends on how many questions you have for me. And of course, I have a favour to ask yourselves. Do me that honour of hitting that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. That way you'll be notified whenever we release an episode here on SmugMug Live, whether it's a tips and tricks episode like this one, or whether it's with one of my frequent guests who come and give us an insight into their world of photography. So hi Joe, joined from Suffering in New York. I hope you are not suffering too much. I'm sure you've never heard that joke before. What are we going to do today? Well, I've got a few things I'm going to run through with you to give you some tips and tricks on using your SmugMug site. But of course, if you have some questions, then hopefully I can answer you. And doing my tips and tricks, of course, I will be helped by my trusty AMG demo site that we've been working on for quite a while now. As I mentioned, this is episode 98. If this is your first episode joining me, then you have a lot of catching up to do. 98 episodes over the last, 16 months or so. A lot of catching up to do with all the episodes we have here on SmugMug Live. I have a playlist that's called Tips and Tricks, where you can specifically dive into those episodes where we're just talking about some of the feature list that you can do with, and some of the cool things you can do with SmugMug. I'm doing a little bit of work on that playlist. Someone reached out to me and commented that I could make it easier for people to find out what's in each of those episodes. So I'm changing the titles slightly so that people can get a better insight into what we ultimately ended up talking about in that live stream. And if I have some time, I might change the graphics on the thumbnails there. But check out that Tips and Tricks playlist. Lots of episodes there to teach you lots of things about SmugMug. Let's see, Sandy says, second episode, and yes, I have a lot of catching up to do. Yep, Sandy, thank you so much for joining for your second time. Hi, Studio RT Cool in Connecticut. Thank you for joining. Listen, catch up at your own pace. I will continue to do these episodes, but I will, from time to time, if I get some questions, refer back to previous episodes. I've got a handy cheat sheet here reminding me of what I've been talking about over the last year or so. So if there's a specific question, I might refer you to an episode that talks just about those features that you ask questions about. Right, let's jump over to AMG Demo. This site we have been working on for many months now, using this as a way to demonstrate what you can do on your SmugMug site. The first thing I wanted to remind people about today is about the ability to use multiple templates. When you first start your SmugMug site, you will be asked to choose a template. Now, the wonderful thing about all the templates is they can be completely customized if you're on our power count or above. If you're on our basic account, you can customize the homepage like you see here. But choosing one of those templates helps you get started, helps you kind of choose a theme or a layout. But as you've seen over the last numerous weeks and months, you can change almost everything that's on those sites. If I click this little icon in the top right here, I can actually go choose a new site design. So if I click on that new site design, let me scroll past these designs. But this is some examples of, these are the templates that you'll be asked to choose from when you first get started with your SmugMug site. Now, as I say, they're a great place to start with. We've spoke about these before, but choose one that has maybe the logo and the menu bar in the position that you ultimately maybe want yours, although, as I say, it can all be moved. Or maybe choose one based on the color theme, if you want a dark site or a light site for your theme colors. But again, all customizable. Now, I scrolled past this, but you can see here there's lots of copies of. So these are templates I've used in the past to demonstrate the use of those templates. Now, when you choose a template, what we do is we store a copy of that template. You can see here there's one called copy of Jasper, copy of Dina, etc., etc. I have two at the top here. I have the AMG demo, which is the one you can see underneath there. It says current. That's the one we've been working on predominantly for the last few months. But I have a second one that's called AMG Alternative. Now, what I wanted to demonstrate first of all today is the fact that when you choose a template, or you choose a second template, or a third, or however many, when you choose an additional template, it doesn't destroy the first template that you created. It's non-destructive in that way. You can actually play about with as many templates as you want. So at the moment, let's go back to the photo site, and you can see what we have here as a customized homepage. It has a video background that's looping in the back, full page video background, which we've demonstrated in previous episodes. My logo, social feeds, navigation menu right here on the homepage. That is my AMG demo site. But if I go and choose a new site design and I choose AMG Alternative, the first thing I can do is click the preview button and have a little look at it. And here it opens up a completely different design. Yes, it's got the same logo, etc., but that's typically how people will use this. But it's got a completely different layout. It's got my logo at the top, navigation underneath it on the left, social icons there, and then a gallery on the home page. So if I just click choose this design, a couple of options here. I can publish now, which makes it live to the world, or I can hit customize and I can go in and change some things and customize some things before I then make it public. So let's go customize. So click on the customize button, pop in here. You can see that my homepage is the part we're working on right here. You can see some of the other areas which are highlighted in red because they are on my entire site design. Again, look back at some of the previous episodes if you need to refresh yourself on how you add content blocks. But let's go make some changes. Let's move some things about. Let's go to my entire site. Let's move my social icons up underneath my logo. Now, just a little refresher for you. Everything that's on the pages we call content blocks. So these blocks of content you can choose and drag onto your page just by going over here to the content blocks that you can add. I already have this social media content block, as you can see there, and I've just moved it from the bottom to above my menu item. I could actually move it right above my logo so that it's at the top of the page. I just want to demonstrate some customization before we go and hit done, hit publish now, and now this design is live as my site. So if someone was to come to my URL, come to my website address, this is what they will see because I have now published this template, this design to the world. And I could continue to go in there and customize it because obviously I don't want my social icons at the top there. It doesn't look very good. The lots of things you can do here. So customizing, very, very simple, as we've shown previously. But just to prove that I can jump back and forward between different templates, let's go back over here, click on New Site Design, and you can see that AMG Alternative is the current one. That's the one I'm using. But good old AMG Demo is still there. And if I click on the preview first, yep, that's the one we want. Choose this design, hit publish. That design is now the one that people will see when they go to my domain name. So that is a really cool way to have different looks, or to be working on an entirely new site design. If you are tired of your website, your SmugMug account design, and you want to do something new, you can go build another template, keep it in the background, complete all the design, get it looking the way you want it, then publish it live. And that would be your website. There's another use case that I've mentioned before on SmugMug Live for having multiple templates ready for your use. You could have a different template design, different website design for different seasons, different times of the year for your customers. You know, maybe you have a portrait business and you're photographing portraits of families, and you have, you know, holiday seasons. You have Valentine's Day, you have things like Halloween, holidays, Christmas, all those different events that happen throughout the year for your customers. You could have a different site designs, probably on the homepage specifically, customizing the homepage just for that seasonal part of the year, just for that holiday. So maybe you have a design that's your Halloween design that is pumpkins and beautiful portraits of all the families getting their Halloween portraits done. You make that active around the Halloween holiday or beforehand so that people know you're the person they want to come and get their portraits taken for the holiday season. Likewise, if you're going to be taking portraits for holiday cards, then, you know, change that design before that seasonality. Get all the love heart design on there before Valentine's Day. But it's all done in the back. You don't have to customize it as you're changing it. You could build all these designs and change back and forward as much as you would like. So great little use case there for having multiple templates. And just reminding you, I know I've covered this before, but just reminding you that you can indeed have as many template designs as you want. I haven't stress tested it actually to see just how many you can have, but trust me, there's enough storage there for all the templates that you'd potentially need for your site. So yeah, multiple templates. Right, next thing I wanted to cover, and it's something I just mentioned there about people coming to your domain name, coming to visit your website. If you look at the very top of this site, you can see that this SmugMug site, my website for this demo purposes, has the domain name, the URL, amjshowdemo.smugmug.com. Some people were asking the significance of AMJ. It's my initials, so that's why I use that. So amjshowdemo.smugmug.com is the domain name of this website, this SmugMug account. When you sign up for your SmugMug account, you will put in some details. You'll probably put in your first name, last name, and your email address, and we will give you your .smugmug domain name when you sign up. Typically your first name, last name .smugmug.com, unless someone else already has it, and then we'll give you something similar, but you can customize that as well, which I'll show you in a moment. So that is your SmugMug URL, this something.smugmug.com, based on what you signed up with. Now, on basic accounts, that is all you can have, is your .smugmug.com URL. On anything above basic accounts, so Power, Portfolio, and Pro accounts, you can have your own custom domain name. So if you have bought a domain name, if you have something really cool that you want to use as your website, then you can apply that on our Power, Portfolio, and Pro accounts. And I just wanted to highlight where you do that. So let's head over here right up to the top right, where typically you'll have a little either silhouette or a picture of yourself. When you click on that, you can go here to your account settings. When you click on account settings, you will be taken to the back account settings of your own SmugMug account. And what you can see here is lots of tabs down the left hand side, which I'll probably cover over the next few weeks. I'll do a couple today. And at the moment we're on the account settings tab, the Me tab, which tells you all about your account. So here's my site URL. At the moment it is AMJ show demo, which I've already mentioned. You can see that it shows you the full URL of this account. Now, this is assigned to you when you first sign up to your account, as I mentioned earlier. If it's not able to use your own name because someone else already has that one, it'll give you something similar. But in this window here, I can actually go in there and change that to try and get something closer to what I want. I'm not going to change mine today, but the system will tell you if that is available. So if you didn't like the one that we gave you, or you want to change it to something new, you can go in here to your site URL and change that. That is only changing your, you kind of refer to it as your nickname in some ways, but this .smugmug.com URL that you would use to come to your site. Underneath here we have the email that you signed up with. Of course you can change that. We have the password that you created when you signed up, and this is an area where you can change that by putting in your current password and creating the new one. But let's talk about custom domains. Right down here at the bottom we have our window for adding your custom domain. So if you have went to a domain name registry company and you have registered a domain name, so you have something really cool like alastairjolly.com, this is where you can partly set up that custom domain name. There's a couple of steps to setting up your domain name. The first step is done off of SmugMug. That would be done at your own domain name registry. So you'd have to go to your control panel, to your domain name registry, and change a setting there to make sure it points to your SmugMug account. So let me show you, if you go to our help pages, let's see if I can pull it up. So we have a help page, which I'll link. I'll put the link to this in the description of the video, of the live stream. This help page will give you the information you need to set up your domain name. There's a few ways you can do it. If you don't have a domain name, you can go to SmugMug custom domain name section and buy a domain name. We work in partnership with Godaddy at the moment there. So if you go here, you can actually purchase a domain name, check it's available, and purchase that. If you already have a domain name which you bought through Godaddy, then you can use the Godaddy connection tool, which is built into your account settings. Let me flip back to the account settings. So right down here at the very bottom, if I zoom in here, the Godaddy Connect tool, if you click on that, it will, and you have a Godaddy domain name, or Godaddy is your domain name registration company, it'll automatically connect that for you using their connection tool. You have to put that domain name here in the box, then hit the connect tool, and it will do the magic to connect your site to your Godaddy domain name. Here's a little example of what the pop-up looks like with the Godaddy connection tool. But if you're not with Godaddy and you've bought your domain name somewhere else, as many of us have, then you need to go to your domain name registry company, go to your control panel, and you need to go to your DNS settings. It all sounds very complicated, but either reach out to the domain name company if you can't find them, but go to your control panel, go to your DNS records, and what you have to do is change this section that's called the Cname. The Cname is a reference that basically tells your domain name the hosting site that it has to direct to when someone types in that domain name. So you go to the Cname record where it says www, and you change that to domains.smugmug.com. Once you've changed that, go to the domain name forwarding section and forward the www or your domain name without the www here it says example.com, forward that to www.example.com. That way, if someone is entering your domain name without the www, it'll still find you and forward. Yeah, Rock Video, I think you're just saying the same. Yeah, so just follow these rules, and that way you will get your domain name set up with your DNS records at your domain name registration company. Let's see if I can get back to the page I want to be at now. There we go. So back to my account settings. So once you have changed your DNS record, hopefully you're still with me. I know this sounds very complicated, but go to your DNS record at your control panel, change the Cname to domains.smugmug, and then come back here and just enter that custom domain name, enter the custom domain name you've bought here in the tab. And if it all works, it'll connect and point to your website. It will let you know here if it has failed and if something's not set up right. Of course, at any point, you can reach out to our support team at help@smugmug.com, or indeed your domain name registration help, to find out where to add these certain pieces. It is pretty straightforward. It sounds complicated, but basically those two steps: change your DNS record, change or enter your custom domain name here in the box in your account settings. Right, let's see, any questions coming in while I'm looking here? Do not forward with masking. Yeah, just do the very simple forward to, otherwise Google will not be happy. Right, so that is all the tabs you have here in this first account section. While I'm in here in the accounts window, I want to run through what some of these do. We haven't really touched in the account window settings in any depth. We've dipped in and out demonstrating other things, but let's go through maybe the first couple here today while we have some time. If you have any questions, folk, get them in the chat window there. Thank you to those who are posting comments in there. I appreciate it. So in this first tab, the account tab, let's zoom in here. This account tab, as I've mentioned, changing your site URL, changing your account email, changing your account password, and setting up your custom domain name. Pretty straightforward there. Let's move to the subscription tab. The subscription tab tells you what kind of subscription you have. Mine's is very different. This is an employee account I'm working on just now. One of the benefits of working here is you get an employee account. So I don't have credit card details, etc. set up in here, but you would once you subscribe. But it'll tell you what type of plan you're on just here. It will tell you if you are on Basic Pro, Portfolio, or Power. In a notifications tab, a couple of options here. Again, I'll zoom in. You can turn on comments alerts. So if you use our comments content block and someone leaves a comment for you, then by turning this on, we will notify you that someone has left a comment on one of the comment content blocks on your site. This second one sounds a little bit daunting, but it's one of our little security features: failed password attempts. If when you come to your SmugMug account, you have to sign in. So you sign in typically with your email and your password. If we detect multiple attempts to log into your site using the wrong password, then we will notify you by email and give you some details. Typically, there's some sort of geo location information there saying someone is trying to sign in from, I'll say, Mountain View in San Francisco, just to give you some indication that someone is doing that. Typically, we find it's the account owner or maybe an assistant or someone who works with you, but it's just one of those little fail-safes to let you know if anything untoward is happening with your account. The next tab down we call gifts, the gift of SmugMug. This is a wonderful idea. If you know a photographer that you want to give a SmugMug account to, if you know someone in your family, your friends, or you love SmugMug that much that you want to let someone near and dear to you try it out, then you could actually buy them an account here. So if you went here to give the gift of SmugMug, then you could buy an account. You will get that subscription for 20% cheaper than you would typically have to pay. And we'll also give you 20% in referral credits for buying that account for someone. So kind of cool way for you both to get a benefit if you're giving that account to someone. And then the other thing is our refer a friend link. This is something a lot of people aren't familiar with, but if you are in a photo community or you know some photographers who have asked you, hey, your SmugMug site or your photo website is incredible, what do you use? And you can say, well, go try out SmugMug. And if you copy this link is unique to you, so don't use this one because this is mine. But when you go in here, you'll have your own very unique share link. If you copy that and share it with someone and they use your link, then again, you will get, they will get a 20% discount when they buy their subscription, but you again would get a 20% referral, and those referral credits you can spend on subscriptions for your future years at SmugMug. Next tab down is your receipts. So any receipts, any money that you've spent with us at SmugMug, so either your subscriptions or any products that you've bought, etc., would show up here in the receipts tab. Again, I don't have anything shown here because it's a demo site. And the final tab in the Me section is gallery presets. Now, looking at my notes, back in, I think it was episode 92, is that right? Yeah, I think it was maybe way back. In fact, no, it was episode 94. If you go back to episode 94, it's an episode where I talk about everything you can do with the gallery content blocks. When you add a gallery to your site, when you store images in a gallery on your SmugMug account, there's a whole bunch of settings that you can set up to make that gallery work exactly the way you want to do for you. So things like passwords, watermarks, image sizes, all those things that you might want to change in a gallery. In episode 94, I went through every single setting there to tell you what to do. And one of those things that I spoke about is once you have all those settings set up the way you want them, you can save those settings as a gallery preset. So the next time you go create a gallery that you want all those settings with, rather than going through all the settings, you can apply one of your presets and it's done automatically for you. Well, here in the account section is where you can manage those gallery presets. If you have lots of presets and you want to maybe delete some presets, or you want to see which settings are affected by that preset, then come here to the gallery presets tab, and if you have lots, you'll see them here. I have just the one, the default one, and it shows you all the things that are affected in the gallery settings by that preset. But as I say, you might have many presets that you want to manage. This is the place to do it. Right, any questions? No, it's all looking pretty quiet in there. Please, folks, if you have questions, post them in that chat window. Let me know, especially if I cover something here that you're not 100% clear on, then yeah, chat window is the place to let me know. Okay, let's move over here to the privacy tab. This will be the last tab we talk about today because time is short for me today. I do apologize. So let's go to the privacy tab. The very first thing is who has access to your site. So when someone comes to emjshowdemo.smugmug.com, the name of this site, who can get access to it? Now, at the moment, anybody who types in that domain URL can get to look at the website because anyone can look at it. But we have some other options. People with the password and people I choose. So this is a bit like some of the gallery settings when you add a password or you use private sharing. to make sure only certain people can get into a gallery. Well, you can do the exact same with your entire SmugMug account. I know some people who have a specific SmugMug account just for a specific client. Not many people have that, but I do know a few who only want one specific client to have access to their specific SmugMug account. They have many, many SmugMug accounts, but you know, for instance, we have a group, an organization called APPO, Association of Professional Photo Organizers, I think is the official title. But you know, people who take people's photo collections, the legacy, all their negatives, all their paper photographs, and they scan them and organize them, digitize them, and they maybe use a SmugMug account for that client to create a family legacy SmugMug account. So they only want that specific person getting access to that site. So they can click here, people I choose, and then email that person, and they will sign up to get access to it. But more typically, it's people with a password. When you click on people with a password, you can then put in a password here, and you can give yourself a hint if you so wish what that password is, although some people would say it's best not to hint what your password is, but you can lock down that site. So if someone then types in amjshowdemo.smugmug.com and they come here, they'll see the homepage, but they won't see anything on it, and they'll be asked for a password to enter the site. Kind of cool feature if you wanted to limit who can come to the site. At the moment, I'm just going to leave it as anyone. The next one down, assistant password. This is another feature we have that came after, many years ago. We added this in, but it came after lots of requests from pro photographers who run a very busy business, but have assistant photographers that maybe manage uploading and creating galleries, etc., on the studios or the business SmugMug account. Now, if you create an assistant password, what you can do is you can then allow your assistant to access or log into the account, but they have limited access, so they can't see, for instance, they can't get access to the account tabs and subscription tabs, that type of thing. So they can't go and change your subscription. They can't, change email addresses. They can't change the main password. So they don't get access to this type of stuff. They get access to the ability to create galleries and add photos. And I'm pretty sure we actually prevent them from deleting anything as well. So they can't delete images. They can really only upload. But it's great if you have an assistant who's maybe out doing a different job, or you've passed off some images and say, hey, I need you to upload these for a client, that type of thing. Then that is where you will want to create an assistant password. The next section is family and friends. Now, if you have family, friends, or colleagues or other associates who also have a SmugMug account, then you can add them here. You can then allow those people to have access because you recognize them as family and friends. So you add them here. Of course, we also have links to help pages. So if you ever have any questions, about these accounts or about these settings in your account settings, then you can very quickly go to the help pages by clicking on these little links here on the settings. But yeah, if you have other people who have SmugMug accounts, you can link it in here, and then here it's quite small, but then you can turn on the ability for families to view your site without having to enter any password. So if you have your site locked down, or if you have galleries locked down, then the friends or family do not have to know those passwords or use those passwords when they come to your site. Sorry, I got a question come in there, but it then disappeared again. Yeah, I think somebody retracted their question there, but I did hear it come in and pop away again. Maybe I'll ask that question again. Right, moving on, we have our right-click message. Again, I mentioned this again during some of the customization setups, but when you create a gallery, you can allow or you can turn on the ability for right-click protection. So if someone goes to a photograph on your site and tries to do right-click save as, a little box pops up and typically says these images are the copyright of the photographer. You need permission to use them. However, here in this field, you can actually customize that message. Here I've put, I think you were looking for the buy button, a message I saw in someone else's SmugMug account. I thought it was kind of cute. So if someone was to go to one of my images on this site, right click on that image rather than being able to save it, the save as option will not pop up, but this little message will pop up saying that they need to go buy the image and not copy it. And then also here we have the ability to turn on and off feeds. So if you have a site where someone wants to add your site to an RSS feed, a newsreader to see content, then you can turn that on there. Authorized Services. This is where when we're working in partnership with some third parties to allow other tools to have access to your SmugMug account, then this is where you'll see who you have authorized, what other services you have authorized to use or have access to your SmugMug account. So if I zoom in, at the moment you can see there's only one service authorized here, and that is Adobe Lightroom. It has full access to my account, and I can revoke that access. Now, you might be asking yourself, why does Adobe Lightroom have access to my SmugMug account? Well, if you go all the way back to episode 6, you'll see a whole episode about how you can use Lightroom to upload and manage images on your SmugMug account directly from within Lightroom using the Lightroom Publish Services feature. And you can also do that with Flickr as well. But our plugin for SmugMug, you can go back to episode 6. It's a fantastic tool. If you use Lightroom, if you have a SmugMug account, get that free plugin. It's super powerful. From within Lightroom, you can create galleries, you can create passwords, you can, all the settings we've been talking about over the previous weeks and months, you can do that from directly within Lightroom, and those images are then synced back and forward between your Lightroom catalog and your SmugMug account. So that is a service I have authorized, and it shows up here directly within the Authorized Services site. So if I zoom out, you can see that I could go and delete that if I didn't want Adobe Lightroom to have access to this SmugMug account again. No other external services have authorization. That's a kind of future-proof tool there. And then the very last one here is access your data. By clicking on Show Data, you can see all that personal data that we have stored, your name, your address, credit card details, that any data that we have stored with your permission, we will showcase here so that you are aware of what data of yours we are storing. Of course, we are completely GDPR compliant and all that type of stuff, but this is a great tool to let you know what data we have access or that we know about yourself. I am not going to click on it because if I click on it, then I will show you all the data, all my personal data, and I don't want to do that. So by clicking on that, it just gives you an insight into the authorized data that we have that you've shared with us, so that we're completely transparent with you. Right. I think I am going to finish there for today, but I will give you a few minutes to get any of those last minute questions in before I finish up. I would ask you, while I'm waiting to see if there's any questions come in, to do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and allow all those notifications from this channel. That way you'll be notified whenever I'm back here doing another SmugMug Live, or if we release another SmugMug film, which we have some amazing content planned for the future. So yeah, hit that notification window. Do me a huge favor, hit the thumbs up button, give me a like here. It really does help support the channel. It lets, most importantly, lets other people find this channel by YouTube suggesting us to other people who may be looking for help with their SmugMug account or looking for some great inspiration or motivation. So by hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, you really help me, the channel, but other photographers as well. Right, you're all being very quiet in the chat window, so I'll take that as nobody has any questions for me today. So I thank you very much. I will be back next Tuesday with another tips and tricks episode. So if you have enjoyed some tips and tricks today, then come back for some more, but also go check out the playlist here on YouTube and see previous episodes. But wherever you are in the world, stay safe, be kind, look after each other, and we'll see you back here very, very soon for another episode of SmugMug Live. Take care. Bye, everybody.